Great automotive service is
Good morning, everybody. And I say good morning because I had time and I fell asleep at home before I came, so excuse me if I'm a little groggy. Apparently, I couldn't spell on the agenda either. Sorry, Mr. Bizjack. Welcome to the Finance Committee meeting for October 6th. We have just a handful of resolutions and ordinances and a light crowd this evening, so we'll get started with temporary resolution 8325. Coming through finance, that is the 2026 budget. So first edition, I will kick it over to the mayor if you want to
Certainly.
start us off.
So I want to give you the high-level information on the start of the budget process. Obviously, this is the first reading, and the budget is essentially what was submitted by department heads on what they need, what they want, what they wish for. We've been able to meet with all department heads up to this point, and we are currently coming through the budget, and there'll be significant changes as we go through the process. But let me give you some information to help you understand where we're at. Unions, police, fire, Comtex have negotiated a 5% raise for the upcoming year. That's part of the collective bargaining agreement, and this is the final year. We're going into the final year of a 3-year contract. AFSCME negotiated a 4% raise, and then in the final year of their 3-year contract in 26. Another important note is we have 27 pays in 2026. It impacts the city in the following way. Overall, $1.8 million for payroll, and a general fund, $1.234 million for that payroll. So when you see those numbers and you look at, you'll see that increase budgeted for 2026. Management and non-union pay rate raise is set at 2.5 for 2026. Health insurance increase is 3%, and that is well below the area standard. We want to keep it as low as possible when we can, but we did see we need to make a small change to offset cost. Note enterprise, we talked about this when legislation comes forward. Enterprise funds and departments are seeing increased project costs and material costs. You'll see that budgeted in their line items to account for that going forward. We also have met with the departments, as we did, we discussed vehicles. Vehicles are always a big cost. Some of them are extremely expensive, like a fire engine, and some of them are more reasonable, like a truck for code enforcement. However, we set some general guidelines on how old a vehicle should be, what type of condition it should be in before we seek replacement. And we've also set a standard price for the type of vehicle. That really hasn't been outlined before. So you're getting first reading. When you go through it, if you have questions, contact department head directly if you'd like to, but certainly me or the service safety director, and we'll have answers for you, or we'll find them for you. I would ask that as we go through the budget, you're going to see changes and amendments, so we'll probably amend it. We hope to have one amendment, but it's likely we'll have more than one amendment. We'll find things that we need to change as we go through the process. The idea of bringing it forward now is to give everybody enough time to read it, get answers when they need them, try to understand things that maybe you're not fully aware of by getting with the appropriate person, department head, or whoever the expert might be in that area. And then we can all come to a conclusion and pass a budget in time for 2026. So I realize that's a high-level view of where we're starting. Any questions I can answer?
Anyone? Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate SSD Woody sent out you should have all gotten an email with a digital copy of that on Saturday so we can start combing through it, so. If there aren't any other questions, we'll leave it at that and move on. Temporary resolution 8425 that's coming through Safety Committee, Mr. Bizjak.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is going to be a reappropriation of $75,000 from the salary administration fire line item to the overtime fire department line item. The reason for this change here, for this reappropriation, I should say, and I want to emphasize this is money that's already been budgeted for, and this is not coming from the unencumbered balance. But the reason for this change is since the fire department has not hit maximum staffing for the 2025 year, there was some money left over in the salary, and combined with the fact that we've had, injured firefighters, pregnancies, childbirths, things like that, folks on light duty, overtime has, surprisingly crept up. So this line item change here, reappropriation, is to accommodate that. And I have been assured here by the fire chief that this is a worst case scenario here, so this should carry us through for the rest of 2025. That's all I have, Mr. President, or Mr. Chair, excuse me.
Any questions? No, pretty straightforward, yeah.
And council member will be my, Teener will be my second, excuse me, and we'll be going 3 readings on this one.
Okay.
Oh, I do have one thing.
Yes.
I just wanted, 3 readings, I mean, do people need paid before that? There's 3 readings, I mean, is that too far to go, or people, just making sure?
I appreciate the question. So we are looking at the forecasting, like kind of the worst case scenario.
Okay.
It appears that we'll have sufficient funding in the overtime line to get us through to the 3rd reading of this. If something changes, I would come back and ask council to entertain speeding that timeline up. We are coming closer to the end of the year. We do expect to be at full staffing here very soon. We have 2 firefighters who are going through that process to get started with us. But we also have a lot of special duty happening right now with the Fairfield County Fair and events like that. So we're monitoring it very closely, and if there's going to be any changes, we'll definitely let council know. Thank you.
Did you kind of come up short because of what happened at the fair? You had all that overtime and that. Did that kind of play into that?
Well, as Councilman Bizjak pointed out, from the beginning of the year, we've had 9 people at different times on light duty that we just didn't anticipate when we're budgeting for overtime. Also, as I mentioned, the special duty, that comes out of our regular overtime funds, not just for the fair, but for all the other events that we have approved and we do throughout the year. For that, we're reimbursed, but that reimbursement money doesn't go back into that overtime account. It just goes back into the revenue for carryover, and is not immediately available to go back into that account.
Okay. I just want to make sure that people aren't getting, you didn't need it ahead of time.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
No, I think we're okay for now. Thank you.
Any other questions? Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, temporary resolution 8525 coming through Administrative Services, Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I'd like to ask the Service Safety Director to speak to this one, if you would.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Not that I want to. So as you all know, we are self-insured. So that means that although United Healthcare is our insurance carrier, the City of Lancaster pays all of its claims directly to United Healthcare. Unfortunately, we had a medical claim that came through last month that was a $1.4 million claim at Children's Hospital. That's one claim. That's kind of unheard of. You don't typically get a $1.4 million claim in 1 year. But because of that one significant claim, it means that we have exhausted a lot of our expense budget for our claims. Now, with us being self-insured, we do have stop-loss insurance, so anything over $150,000, we will end up getting some reimbursement back. So anything over the $150,000, we will get some reimbursement back for that. However, in the meantime, we still need to make certain that we have enough money in our expense budget to continue to pay any additional claims that we would receive through the end of the year. So because of the one significant claim, I'm asking to appropriate from our unencumbered fund $1.8 million to make certain that it covers that $1.4 million claim and any additional extra claims that we just haven't anticipated through the end of the year. And with that, I will ask for any questions.
This won't affect anybody else's budget or any other?
Correct.
Okay.
We have a carryover in our medical claims.
Good.
that we have it in there. It's not coming out of general fund, it's coming out of the health insurance money. We're just asking to appropriate it out of that unencumbered into the expense budget.
Excellent.
Becky.
And we have no choice. I mean, it's there, so we have no choice at this. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's how, unfortunately, how healthcare is. And so Lancaster has no choice, but we have to fulfill it.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I add a couple things?
Yes, sir.
I had an elected official call me and ask me if I would explain a little bit about how we're funded for self-insured. Safety director explained most of it, but I just want to add a couple things. So the reason we have carryover and we're able to move that money from the unencumbered balance to and cover this cost is because we share with our employees each month that the city pays part of the premium. We'll call it a premium, part of the health insurance coverage, and the employee pays part of that. And that's typically negotiated in collective bargaining, but currently it's 15, they pay 15%, the city pays 85%. That builds over time. We were able to build it up, and now we have a balance to cover something like this. But it is self-insured. That's why we have stop loss. And that stop loss kicks in at 150,000 above, but it is reimbursed and not paid in advance. So they don't just take it off our shoulders. We have to pay it, and then we seek a return of that money. Also, like insurance, we use an administrator to administer our health insurance coverage. So for the employee, it seems like health insurance, but really for us, it's paid for by the city and by the employee over time. Again, I had somebody call me and ask me if I would explain that. Hopefully I've explained it fairly well. But it really is not traditional health insurance. It's a self-insured program.
So will
Yes, sir.
Stop Lock repay everything over 150,000?
It will,
Wow, that's super,
but it'll probably raise our stop loss coverage for next year.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the
Yeah.
premium, yeah.
probably.
You can have car insurance, but don't get in an accident.
Anything else? Any other questions?
No, we'll go 3 readings, and Mr. Bezchak will be my second.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Temporary Resolution 8625 coming through Finance Committee is the County Budget Commission levy rates. So kick that over to Auditor Nettles.
This is an annual piece where, as you can see with the attachment, Exhibit A, it's the Schedule A that I received from the county auditor's office, which is giving the estimated real estate tax rates for collections in 2026 on 2025 tax year. So they're kind of giving those values. They're not something that is negotiated. It's something that they give out to every entity, and they're requesting this resolution for council to adopt those rates. And it got missed in translation because we hadn't done this in the past 2 years because they amended, the county's budget commission kind of amended how the tax budget was done. Previously, the tax budget would come before city council, but between the county auditor and the county budget commission, they loosened the reins on that, so now council doesn't have to approve it, and it's still done, but it's done on the back end, and I converse back and forth with the budget commission as needed for that. But they now decided that they still need this per an ORC that was due by the end of September. So we're kind of in a catch-up mode. So if I can have one reading on this, I'd be eternally grateful.
Any questions? No, I will request suspension when we get to the
Yeah.
regular.
One other thing, did we put the one where, the first whereas, that it was removed for?
Yes, we removed it and it was delivered to Anitra earlier.
Okay.
I had a question. I mean, we haven't seen this for the last couple of years.
For 2 years, yes. They
So-
didn't send it to me for the past 2 years, and this is, the last time it was before city council, which
Right.
was in 2022. That was when they made their changes. In 23 and 24, they did not send me this resolution. This resolution comes from the county auditor's office.
Well, I
they
just have
sent
a
me.
question. Does this represent any kind of a tax increase on anyone?
This is the real estate taxes that you paid and the estimated city's portion that we will receive from those
Okay.
tax collections.
Okay, so
They
this is
do those
not,
calculations at the county auditor's office, they send them out to the schools, they send them out to what they believe on real estate taxes will come to us through the normal collections, and of course, then you see the, road improvement, which is the 3 mil levy, what they believe is the gross collections that they should collect and send us in 2026.
I
That's what
just
they-
want to make sure we were not approving or voting on any kind of a
No,
tax
you're just
rate.
agreeing to
We're just
the rates.
agreeing to the monies that we
Right.
anticipate are going to come our
And
way.
there's not a bartering system, we can't change those rates, the rates are what they are.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I will be asking for suspension this evening. Mr. Ailes will be my second. Ordinances, moving on to ordinance, temporary ordinance 5425, coming through Service Committee. Mr. Ailes.
Yes, Hank Toff from the Gas Department is here to discuss this.
Good evening. What we're looking for is smart meters, AMR, automated, to replace our old meters. Mainly, what we want to start out is do a pilot program in certain areas, remote places that are hard to read. The biggest thing that we need city council approval for is for the FCC licensing that is part of this to remotely read the meters.
Any questions? So this has nothing to do, they've already purchased some meters, and that's within their right to do that. This is just the FCC license.
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Wing is my second. 3
All right.
readings, please.
2 reads. Any questions? We have the nice Q&A, so any between now and the next meeting. All right, thank you. Temporary ordinance 5525 coming through finance is the council pay ordinance. Anyone want to discuss that?
Do you want me to take
Or
it?
you want to take it?
Sure, I'll take it. We have to set the pay for council with every term. We've chosen to leave it the same as it was last term, and it's just a formality that it takes place.
It's laid out in front. Anyone have any questions? No? Be 3 readings. Mr. Sully will be my second on that one. And then finally, we have temporary ordinance 5625 coming through economic development. Mrs. Hoop.
Thank you. This is just the Sheridan Drive TIF. This is the commercial side, so it's the multifamily apartments. I think there's about 250-ish of them. And this is to accept. Or to not to accept, but to begin. And Mrs. Kreitz was supposed to be or will be my second, and it's going to go 3 readings.
There you are. Hi.
I'm here
Nice
to
to
answer
you.
any questions.
Before I ask mine, anyone have any questions for Ms. Bosco? No. Do you want to explain
Sure.
in depth anymore?
So the way the TIFs work is they separate multi-tenant from single-family homes. It does not make sense in my head, but they call multi-tenant commercial and single-family homes residential. So this is just the single-family portion of it. And we're gonna have a public hearing November 3rd. And then later down the road, we will do the commercial side. The commercial side's really short. The residential side, it has a lot more pieces and parts to it, a lot more holding periods where we hold for 30 days. So yeah. And this is for Sheridan.
Any questions? I guess my question is, and maybe it's, I'm gonna include another one, but like they know, the developers know that these are available, right? I feel like these keep getting added on at the very last minute, like it was an afterthought, and they're like, oh, can we do this too? Because they're seeing someone else do it.
So we've been talking to this developer for a while. They have all asked us for TIFs. We do not suggest they get a TIF. But the thing is that the process takes a bit of time, and we need to get it in before the end of the year. So that's why it feels very rushed. It feels like we're throwing it out. While we've been talking about it with the developer, we haven't, I haven't done a good enough job of letting you know what's coming down the pike. But we have to get it done before the end of the year to utilize the TIF to its biggest advantage, best advantage.
I think because was it in your update email where now
There will be one more, yes.
now Casto is asking for it?
Yes, on the
that property,
Taylor.
or the Taylor property?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
So I felt like that was like, oh, can
Well,
we do that too?
I promise that we have asked them for about 1.5 years if they want to do this TIF. We thought, we work with Bricker Graydon, and we said, Bricker, they're not doing it. We've asked them 1,000,000 times, and they have yet to approve it, and time is running out. But they came at us maybe a week or two ago. I mean, we were all like, oh, we've asked you 1,000 times if you wanted to do this. So the good news is that's a commercial TIF. It is commercial development. It's going to be quick. And as always, we make these non-school, so the schools are made whole. So that, yes, that will be coming down the road. But I let you guys know as soon as, pretty much as soon as we knew. It was within a week that we kind of got it all together and looked at a timeline, so. And again, they want to get it done before the end of the year. And we had told them that it would take quite a bit longer. So that's why we thought we were out of that window. And we said, they're obviously not going to do it. They're not responding to us.
So I guess in the process, when is it like, sorry, you forgot to ask and you missed the boat on that?
So I actually, when I received the email that said that they are interested in doing it, that they will proceed with the TIF, I thought, oh, they ran out of time. But the commercial TIF is just so compressed that there is more than enough time in terms of city council meetings, going 3 readings, and doing kind of the due diligence that we do on our side.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So Ms. Hoop, I have down here 3 readings, and Ms. Kreitz will be your second again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, any more resolutions, ordinances to come tonight? No? I am open for department updates. Anybody, sparse crowd, anybody with department updates? Yes, ma'am.
I'll just give a quick update in that you got your first reading of the budget this evening. Typically, we have pay ordinances that accompany the budget, and we will most likely have those to introduce at our next council meeting. So just to give you a heads up, that will be coming.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no one else, I'll turn over to President Porter for tonight's meeting prep.
Thank you, Chairman Schoonover. Tonight we have a special presentation from the Small Business Administration, and I think it's in relation to the flooding which occurred earlier this year. So that is the only thing out of the ordinary on the agenda this evening.
Great, thank you. Any other items for finance? Ma'am?
I just wanted to come tonight because I had the piece of legislation that you had the first reading on at your last meeting. I apologize for the fact that I couldn't be here, but I was at our fall conference up in Cleveland that evening it started. So I just wanted to come to council because when I had initially asked for the legislation that added funds to my postage account, I thought that 3 readings would be sufficient. I'm respectfully asking if we could cut that down to 2 readings, and the reason is, and I have some paperwork, I had forwarded paperwork to you all earlier that showed the need, and my quick, short answer that's as good as I can give you is, I don't control the postage rates that the United States Post Office decides to increase multiple times a year. I also don't control the number of civil cases that get filed in my court. We are in a year, 2025, where we are seeing record numbers in our civil division. Unfortunately, the Ohio Revised Code tells me that I must serve paperwork by certified mail. What happens is I spend the money, send it out certified mail, it's unclaimed, then I have to send it out again by regular mail. So our numbers just keep going up and up and up. My budget had been at 40,000 for years and years and years. That was before me, and I left it at 40. I upped it to 50 a couple of years ago. We have, after the small chart that I sent to you showed through the end of August, and now I'm showing through the end of September. We spent $8,552 from the clerk's office. It was actually a total of $8,900, just over, because that included what the court spent as well, and then we get a reimbursement from the court for their costs. But we are right now at $65,000 with the budget that was at $50,000 for the year, and there is no way I could have foreseen that coming. I have adjusted my budget for 2026, but my fear right now is that if I have another couple of months at nearly $9,000 or even at $8,000, I'm going to go in the red in my postage budget if I wait until the 20th even of this month, because I don't know day to day what I'm going to spend. I have numbers here, if any of you would like to see them, of each day of the month of September, what was sent out from my office. If anyone wants that, I've got a copy of that. And then I have the updated table that shows what we spent that includes the month of September as well. And I don't want to get a call from the auditor's office saying, you have a problem in your line item with postage. And I think that that's coming very, very soon if I don't get money moved over there. So I'm just respectfully asking if we could cut that to 2 readings as opposed to 3.
Ms. Teener.
I do just have a question, like with the post office, because I know it's ridiculous what they charge to send anything. But is there any way, and you might have said it, I missed it, is there a bulk rate? Oops. Is there a bulk rate or something that we can get something through on the post office? I know some places try. Can you do anything like that? You can't?
I don't think that we can. I mean, this is decades and decades. This is how it's been since I've been there 10 years.
I know, but I just, because I do know.
I can answer only
Okay.
because we use bulk postage, so it has to be a certain amount at the same time.
Right.
Like for the same mailing.
Well, as much as
so-
you say you're sending all the time,
But they're
I
doing
just.
it
yeah.
different.
It's
mailing,
different.
Different at different times.
Right.
so.
And then
Yeah.
they said they're sending certified mail, which is
Right,
different.
on top. I understand that, but I'm just asking a question.
I've even looked into, just because some clerks' offices have gone to FedEx as opposed to the certified mail. The General Assembly had made a change, and they will allow for FedEx service. It's more costly than certified mail is. The benefit is, and I don't know that it's really going to save any money, because the benefit is you spend more to send it out. The effectiveness is you get better service, that you get a better return on service than you do if you're just sending it certified mail by the post office, but it's costing more initially. So it's saving me that second mailing that's change cents that I don't know that we're going to gain any ground by spending more initially on a FedEx service.
Any other questions?
I've got one. How much of this increase is due to the legislation that was passed earlier this year?
Some of
in
it
the
is,
state?
some of it is also from House Bill 29, the change that came in April. It is, but the bulk of it is, it's just basically our civil division and sending things out by certified mail. The increase from House Bill 29 that we've seen is that we now, if the service has to go of that new supplemental citation, if they're not local, we have to then send that out to an adjacent county or a non-adjacent county. We have to send that out to that sheriff's department or police department, ask them to perfect the service of the new citation. So there is cost involved with that. Good news is, I can tell you, I've spoken with the mayor and I've spoken with Law Director Hall. The one full-time employee that I was granted back in April, May, I had said if I needed to come back to you, I won't need to come back to you. She is incredibly efficient. She's doing a phenomenal job handling all of that. That's pretty much all she's handling in the office, but that's what we hired her for, so.
Any other questions? Thank you. I don't see, it's my piece through finance, so we'll ask for suspension when we get into second readings.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right, any other items for finance? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion and a second. We are adjourned at 6:30 on the dot.
Lancaster City Council regular meeting will convene at 6:35.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, this is the Senek family with the Salvation Army of Fairfield County. Our mission is to meet human needs without discrimination. We provide a multitude of services that focus on senior care and preparing our youth for successful futures. This month, we are excited to be chosen by the Buckeye Automotive Family's Buckeye Cares program. They'll make a donation with each car sold this month. Thank you, Buckeye family, for supporting the Salvation Army of Fairfield County.
Please rise if you're able and join in a moment of prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and finally, the wisdom to know the difference. I now call the Lancaster City Council meeting to order for October 6th. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Here.
Mr. Bishak?
Here.
Mrs. Kreitz? I'm sorry, Mrs. Hoop? Here. Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Here.
Mr. Schoonover?
Here.
Mr. Solly?
Here.
Ms. Teener?
Here.
And Mr. Wing?
Here.
Let the record reflect that there are 8 members of Lancaster City Council present tonight. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Kreitz.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to excuse Councilmember Kreitz. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd also like to take this opportunity to make the announcement that our recently appointed Councilmember Bittler there was a conflict with her position on the County Port Authority Board that was ascertained, and she has chosen to resign and retain that position with the County Port Authority Board. Once again, she's in the audience this evening, but I want to reiterate that we thank you for your public service and your past service as council president. Thank you very much. We will now move on to the reading and disposing of the journal.
Regular meeting minutes dated September 22nd, 2025.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the journal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the journal. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We'll now move on to the reports of city officials.
Email dated September 23rd, 2025 regarding permanent resolution 47-25 Sheridan Drive Economic District, submitted by Law Director Stephanie Hall. Email dated October 1st, 2025 regarding presentation requested SBA Disaster Loan Outreach Center, submitted by President Porter. Series of emails dated September 26th through October 2nd, 2025, intersections of High Street and Chestnut, High Street and 6th Avenue, submitted by Lieutenant Chuck Sims and Councilmember Teener. Email dated September 26, 2025 regarding the August 25th revenue report, submitted by Income Tax Commissioner Amy Hamilton, and that's the final one.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the reports of city officials.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the reports of city officials. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We'll move on to communications.
I have 4. I have email dated September 22nd, 2025 regarding copies for passed legislation, submitted by Zach Gerald with Columbus Business First. Email dated September 25th, 2025 regarding Trivium to redevelop historic church into mixed-use space in Lancaster, submitted by Stephanie Bosco with the Lancaster Port Authority. Email dated September 26, 2025 regarding concerned citizen with residents living near Google, submitted by Kelsey Wheeler. Email dated October 3rd, 2025 regarding curbside recycling in Lancaster, submitted by Jake Heffron with Rumpke Waste and Recycling.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the communications.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the communications. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We will now move on to special presentations, and this evening we have Debbie Joyce Jacala with the U.S. Small Business Administration. If you'd like to come forward, please.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Council President. My name is, can you hear me okay? My name is DJ Jacala. I'm a public affairs specialist, specifically with the Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster Recovery and Resiliency, the Eastern Branch. And I am here because, as you're well aware, there was the flooding that occurred the 3 days at the end of July. And as a result of that, the Small Business Administration is providing an agency declaration that can allow survivors, and survivors are a fairly lengthy list these days, especially with an agency declaration. It's not just businesses, as our namesake logo says, but as well as businesses, it's churches, it's homeowners, it's renters, it's agricultural cooperatives. So there is a private nonprofits. So there's a full slate of organizations and individuals that are able to access low-interest disaster loans. Because of the nature of it being an agency declaration, just for your own knowledge, obviously we are here in Fairfield County. However, the contiguous counties of Franklin, Hocking, Licking, Perry, and Pickaway are eligible for the exact same loans. Typically, they're only eligible for the economic injury, but they also are available for the physical disaster. So when it comes to the physical disaster loans, again, when I mentioned nonprofits, churches, businesses, those loan rates right now, and the deadline isn't until November 12th, so we're still within the range, if there's any that have not applied, that they are eligible for up to, it would be no more than 4% if they have no credit available elsewhere, or 8% if credit elsewhere. The physical disaster loans for homeowners, and I should note, the business loans are up to $2 million. Obviously, there's no obligation to accept the full amount that's offered. And with home loans, it's up to $500,000. And the key on all of our loans that I want to emphasize now before I even proceed is the Small Business Administration wants to see communities succeed, and they know their businesses, their nonprofits, their neighborhoods are a key component of the overall community, that there are no payments and no interest for the first 12 months after you're approved and sign and receive your loan, and there's no accrued interest that builds during that time. In fact, if your insurance were to come through, you can use that to pay the loan and there's no penalty. So we do everything in our power to ensure that we're providing funding that allows people to fully recover. So I walked roughly through the disaster loan, the flyers I distributed. The piece I want to jump to is EIDL. The deadline for that is longer for a reason. And I have to admit, I do have, if you got to know me, you'd find out quick, I have a sarcastic personality. An EIDL loan is anything but idle. It's economic injury disaster loan. It's actually meant to keep the lights on and the doors open of businesses. So there could be, in the coming months, since the deadline extends into the spring of 2026, businesses that find out, geez, things kind of tailed off after the flooding, and I might have to cut someone from full-time to part-time, or I wasn't able to keep my inventory up. So it's the EIDL, the economic injury, is working capital, which we find really helps businesses that didn't possibly suffer any physical damages as a result of the flooding, but they've seen a loss of business as a result of it. It allows them to keep their doors open while the community recovers. So that is one of the features of that loan. The one that I want to emphasize that a lot of people aren't aware, and we're really building our communication around at this point, is if a homeowner or business did have physical damage and they've qualified for a loan, they can get, in the next 2 years, apply for up to 20% of that loan. So the nice easy figure I use, they qualified for $1,000 to repair the physical damage. They could get another $200, again, it's a 2-year window in which to apply for it, to do mitigation work. There is a lot more effort, and you probably hear about it in the news, that areas that suffer maybe repeated flooding or severe weather circumstances, you want to do things to make yourself resilient for the next time around. So we're offering those additional funds that allow people to do things to make sure what they're trying to restore is in fact going to survive through the next potential bout of damages. And that's really all I wanted to share today. I want to thank Lancaster for how positive and inviting everyone has been. We had a outreach center that closed last week that was open for several weeks at the Fairfield Emergency Management Office. And there's just been an incredible amount of, Lancaster is a very nice place to be. So I'm hopeful we can do more to help you guys as needed recover from what happened. And if you have any questions, I'm here.
Do we have any questions from council members? Hearing none, we thank you for coming and presenting this evening.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Petitions and memorials.
There are no petitions or memorials this evening.
Thank you. We have now reached the time for permission of voters and taxpayers to address council. Are there any individuals here this evening that wish to address City Council? If you do, please come to the podium, sign your name, and your comments are limited to 3 minutes.
My name's John Bradford. I'm from 1360 Frederick Street, Lancaster, Ohio. I'm come here to speak in favor of the proposed legislation to restrict fireworks in our community. Ohio's new firework law was signed on November of 2021 and took effect on July 1st, 2022. This bill legalized the use of 1.4G consumer fireworks, which actually means firecrackers, Roman candles, and fountains on 8 specific holidays. This includes also in this law that was passed by the state that you have to be 150 feet from any structure using an aerial device, which basically means there's no place in the city of Lancaster that fits within that category. The law also allows communities, the state laws, to enact stricter laws. Since that time, when this law was promoted by the state, it's gotten out of hand, frankly. The law is being broken and people's peace and quality of life has been diminished. The past Labor Day weekend, no less than 3 Lancaster neighborhoods experienced extreme and illegal firework displays by people either ignorant of the law or they just chose to disregard it. In each of these cases, debris from the aerial fireworks fell on house roofs and in yards. It was still hot. The silent majority of the electorate do not want their peace and quality of life disrupted by this type of behavior. The new legislation will make enforcement of firework laws easier to interpret and to enforce by the police department and the fire department. Thank you for passing this upcoming legislation.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other individuals who wish to address council at this time? Please come forward.
I'm Kathy Bittler, 774 Lambton Circle East in Lancaster. President Porter and members of council, it's been my very great pleasure to serve the city of Lancaster as an at-large member of this body since late last July. Unfortunately, that service has come to an end, and my resignation was submitted to President Porter on Friday, with copies sent to Mayor McDaniel, Law Director Hall, the Board of Elections, and the Republican Party Central Committee. My resignation was effective immediately. Less than an hour before I submitted the resignation, I was made aware of an Attorney General's opinion that I could not serve council and the Fairfield County Port Authority Board at the same time. I made no secret of my involvement with the Port Authority during the selection process, but had I been aware of that Attorney General's decision, I would not have allowed my name to go to the Central Committee. I apologize to this body for that error on my part. It's unlike me to back out of a commitment. And that's why I chose to resign from council rather than the Port Authority. I had committed to the Port Authority position in 2024, and therefore, as it's my first commitment, I was honor-bound to stay there. Of late, some have expressed concern that I was appointed to fill the unexpired seat here specifically because of a single issue. I just want to say publicly that I find that idea offensive to me, to the members of council, and to the Central Committee members who voted for me. My love of and desire to help this city were my only interests and remain so today. I want to thank each and every member of this body for welcoming me, answering my questions over the last few months, and making me feel welcome again. It's clear that each of you has the best interest of the residents of Lancaster at heart. I encourage you to continue to ask questions and to seek the best possible solutions to all of our issues. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments this evening. Is there anybody else who wishes to address City Council at this time? Hearing none, we thank you for attending tonight's meeting. Now move on to the reports of standing committees.
I have three. Finance Committee meeting minutes dated September 23rd, 2025, and October 6th, 2025, submitted by Mr. Schoonover. Finance Committee meeting agenda dated October 6th, 2025, submitted by Mr. Schoonover.
I lost count.
Sorry, I blended the two.
You did, thank you. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the reports of standing committees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the reports of standing committees. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Reports of special committees.
There are none.
No public hearing this evening. We will now move on to the reading of resolutions. There are no third reading of resolutions, so we will move to second readings, beginning with temporary resolution 7925.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to apply for a grant through the Ohio Public Works Commission to fund the Reese Avenue and West Huber Avenue rehabilitation project and to declare an emergency. This is through Public Works Committee, Mrs. Tiener and Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Councilmember Tiener.
Second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 7925. Temporary resolution 8025.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to advertise for bids and enter into contracts for mowing and trimming the city cemeteries. This is through Public Works Committee, Ms. Tiener and Mrs. Kreitz.
Councilmember Tiener.
Second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 8025. Temporary resolution 8125.
A resolution to authorize the law director to negotiate and enter into a contract with the city of Reynoldsburg and the prosecution of adult misdemeanor traffic and criminal offenses committed in the city of Reynoldsburg within Fairfield County, Ohio, and to accept payment for the same. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
A second of three readings, please.
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 8125. Temporary resolution 8225.
A resolution to appropriate from the unencumbered balance and amend the certificate of appropriations with the county auditor and the General Fund 1001. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the third reading of temporary resolution 8225.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of temporary resolution 8225. A discussion, Councilmember Schoonover.
Just briefly on the suspension, Clerk Sloan was in finance. This is the piece for additional funding for her budget for postage, which is crazy, the amount that we have to spend on that, but it is what it is, so we're gonna be asking for suspension so that account doesn't go in the red for her.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bischak?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz? Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Tiener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend passes 8-0. Councilmembers, Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 8225.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 8225. Any further discussion?
Not for me.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bischak?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Tiener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 8225 passes 8-0. We'll now move on to the first reading of resolutions, beginning with temporary resolution 8325.
A resolution to make appropriations for planned 2026 budget expenses and other expenditures of the City of Lancaster for fiscal year 2026, and to establish line item transfer authority for all city departments. It's through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully.
Councilmember Schoonover.
This is the first of three readings, please.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 8325, temporary resolution 8425.
A resolution to increase and decrease appropriations in the General Fund 1001 for the Lancaster Fire Department overtime and to declare an emergency. This is through Safety Committee, Mr. Bizjack and Ms. Teener.
Councilmember Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the first three readings.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 8425. Temporary resolution 8525.
A resolution to appropriate from the unencumbered balance in the Health Insurance Management Fund 7022 to amend the certificate of appropriations with the Fairfield County Auditor and to declare an emergency. This is through Administrative Services Committee, Mr. Lochtenberg and Mr. Bizjack.
Councilmember Luchtenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of three readings.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 8525. Temporary resolution 8625.
A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Fairfield County Budget Commission, authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor, and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the second and third readings of temporary resolution 8625.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the second and third reading of temporary resolution 8625. Discussion. Councilmember Schoonover.
We're asking for suspension on this piece because we're past due on getting this back to the county auditor.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules, waive the second and third reading of temporary resolution 8625 passes 8-0. Councilmember Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 8625.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 8625. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir.
Hearing none, please call a roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 8625 passes 8-0. We will now move on to the reading of ordinances, beginning with the third reading of temporary ordinance 4625.
An ordinance to accept the annexation of 163.434 plus or minus acres in the Greenfield Township and to declare an emergency. This is through Economic Development, Mrs. Hoop and Mrs. Kreitz. So, Mr. Schoonover.
Okay.
All right, Councilmember Hoop.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 46-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 4625. Any discussion?
This is just to accept the annexation of the 163 acres in the Rock Mill Industrial Park.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 4625 passes 8-0. Temporary ordinance 4725.
An ordinance to amend the zoning map subject to passage of the annexation of 163.434 plus or minus acres in Greenfield Township and to declare an emergency. Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Wing.
Councilmember Hoop.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to replace temporary ordinance 47-25 with temporary ordinance 47-25 star, as given to the clerk in writing prior to tonight's meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to replace temporary ordinance 4725 with temporary ordinance 47-25 star as provided to the clerk in writing prior to tonight's meeting. Any discussion, Councilmember Hoop?
Not right now.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to replace temporary ordinance 4725 with temporary ordinance 47-25 star passes 8-0. Councilmember Hoop.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 47-25 star.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 47-25 star. Any discussion?
This is just for the same annexation we just voted on, but to set the zoning to advanced manufacturing.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 47-25 star passes 8-0. We now move on to second reading, beginning with temporary ordinance 49-25.
An ordinance to establish benefits, titles, and compensation for parks and recreation personnel employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio for the year 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Administrative Services Committee, Mr. Leuchtenberg and Mr. Bizjack.
Councilmember Leuchtenberg.
Second of 3 readings, please.
Second of 3 readings on temporary ordinance 4925. Temporary ordinance 5125.
An ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of the notes in the maximum principal amount of $180,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying the costs of the renovation of an existing building for use by the city's municipal court, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. This through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully.
Councilmember Schoonover.
So first of 3 readings, please.
You mean second of 3 readings?
I'm
Yep.
sorry, yes, second.
Yeah, second.
Okay, thank you. Second of 3 readings on temporary ordinance 5125. Temporary ordinance 5225.
An ordinance to authorize the mayor to accept a perpetual easement for roadway purposes on East Fair Avenue and to declare an emergency. This is through Public Works Committee, Ms. Teener and Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Councilmember Teener.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we, you know what, I forgot to get my thing open. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the 3rd reading of temporary ordinance 5225.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the 3rd reading of temporary ordinance 5225. Any discussion on the motion to suspend?
Not this time.
Thank you. Any further? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules and waive the 3rd reading of temporary ordinance 5225 passes 8-0. Councilmember Teener.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 5225.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 5225. Any discussion?
Yes, this is so that we can accept an easement for Ohio Bell, or not Ohio Bell. Oh my gosh, Ohio Bell. I'm going to the BBF after we're done here.
All right.
Oh no, Ohio Power Company, so sorry. So that they can expand their substation on Fair Avenue.
Thank you. Any further
Ohio
discussion?
Bell. That was-
Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Goodness, Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 5225 passes 8-0. Temporary ordinance 5325.
An ordinance to amend Lancaster Codified Ordinance Part 5, General Offenses Code, and adopt Chapter 550, Fireworks. This through Law Committee.
take that, Mr. President.
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Councilmember Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. That'll be the second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 5325. Now move on to first reading of ordinances beginning with 5425.
An ordinance to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into an FFC notification for Spectrum Manager lease and Spectrum lease agreement with Census for the implementation of the Smart Metering Initiative by Lancaster Municipal Gas. This is through Service Committee, Mr. Ailes and Mr. Wing.
Councilmember Ailes.
First of three readings, please.
First of three readings on temporary ordinance 5425. Temporary ordinance 5525.
An ordinance to establish a compensation for the council president, council members, and the council clerk for the term commencing payroll 1 of 2026. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully.
Councilmember Schoonover.
First of three readings, please.
First of three readings on temporary ordinance 5525. Temporary ordinance 5625.
An emergency ordinance declaring the improvement to certain parcels associated with the Sheridan Drive project in the city to be a public purpose and exempt from taxation pursuant to ORC 5709.40B, requiring the owners of those parcels to make service payments in lieu of taxes. The owners of those parcels, authorizing the city to require minimum service payments, and such payments are agreed upon by developer establishing a municipal building and municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of those services payments, and as applicable, minimum service payments, authorizing payments to the Lancaster City School District specifying the public infrastructure improvements that directly benefit the parcels and approving related matters. This through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mrs. Kreitz.
Councilmember Hoop.
First of three readings.
First of three readings on temporary ordinance 5625. That brings us to the end of our regular list of reading of our resolutions and ordinances. There remain two pieces of legislation that are currently tabled. I don't believe those will be removed. We'll move to any unfinished business by council members. Hearing none. New business. I guess. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to address Kathy Bittler. She's a very honest person. I'm so glad when I started being on council, she was our president at the time. So I kind of started with her and I've ended with her. And she's a very honest person. I actually was one of the ones that suggested her because that's who I thought to fill the position. And I don't know of her being anything but honest. So, and I'm so glad that she did serve, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Teener. We'll move to new business, beginning with, we're going to go around and do our committee reports, if that's okay, or do you want to add something, Councilmember Schoonover?
Just real quick, because I know on the communications to council, I remember there was one that I know that was sent out to all of us, but there were a couple that the clerk read that I didn't see, so can you forward those to everybody?
I sure can.
Because like the Trivium one on the redevelopment of the church, I saw it on Facebook, but I didn't realize we got a notice of it.
Yeah, that
So-
one was submitted through Stephanie Bosco. So I will forward that on to you.
Okay.
And to all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to committee updates. We'll switch sides. We'll begin with Councilmember Solly.
Nothing new to report at this time.
Thank you. Councilmember Bizjack.
Safety Committee's meeting this Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning, 1897 room. We'll be discussing the budgets of the fire department and police department. That's all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Luchtenberg.
Administrative Services meeting a week from next Wednesday. Same time, same place.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Ailes.
Nothing new to report.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Teener.
Nothing.
Okay. Councilmember Schoonover.
Just your friendly budget reminder. Everybody has it now, and I think the committee meetings kind of worked out, so everybody should be able to hash out stuff during their committee meeting, and any new findings, I would encourage you to send an email to everyone, so you're the expert of your committee and those departments, so love to see emails from everybody on their budget process.
Thank you. Councilmember Wing.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. The next meeting for the Water and Water Pollution Control Committee is 2 weeks from today on October 20th at 7:30 in the morning. And I think everyone has probably seen this by now, but I just wanted to highlight that last Wednesday was a very special day for the Water Department. After years of hard work and late nights, the ribbon cutting and dedication happened last Wednesday afternoon, and I just wanted to add it was a very special day. Great to see so many city departments represented and all the stakeholders coming together to celebrate a job well done.
Thank you. And well, great work. Thank you. Councilmember Hoop.
Nothing new other than the much anticipated committee meeting on October 30th at 7:30 in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, I said same time, same place. Mine's going to be at 8 o'clock, a week from Wednesday, not
Okay.
7:30.
All right, thank you.
Just to be
Thank
sure.
you for that clarification, Councilmember Luckenberg. We appreciate it. So we're going to announcement of scheduled meetings.
I have next regular sessions of council is October 20th, 2025 at 6:30 PM here in council chambers, and then again November 3rd at 2025 at 6:30 here in council chambers.
Thank you. Special scheduled meetings,
I have none this evening.
regular scheduled committee meetings.
I have Finance Committee, October 10th, I'm sorry, scratch that, that's today. Safety Committee meeting, October 10th at 8 a.m. City Hall, 1897 Conference Room. Administrative Committee meeting, October 15th at 8 a.m. City Hall, 1897 Conference Room. Water Pollution Committee meeting, October 20th at 7:30, 8 a.m. City Hall, 1897 Conference Room, and Economic Development Committee meeting, October 30th at 7:30 a.m. City Hall, 1897 Conference Room.
Thank you. Reading of bills.
I have two this evening. One for MNCO, $228.12 for publications of ordinances. I have another for MNCO of $75.48 for public hearing notice.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pay the bills. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, paid the bills. No need for an executive session this evening. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Please remember to sign your legislation.
There you go.